Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Auli'i Cravalho about Crush, which is going to be available on Hulu April 29th. Thank you for doing this. Welcome to the show.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me.
I love this movie. A lot of elements at play, a lot of themes. In your opinion, what kind of stands out when you're making this film in terms of elements? You know, there's the love triangle component, there's the coming of age, there's the art. What stands out to you when you're making this?
Well, one, I'm so glad you liked it. And I think what really stands out is, one, the humor. We have an incredible cast.
Yeah.
Which includes Aasif Mandvi, Michelle Buteau, Megan Mullally, who are well-loved and oh so funny.
Yes.
And there's also our characters who are full and vibrant and queer, but our story does not, in fact, focus around a coming out story, which is refreshing. And I absolutely loved lending my voice to my character, AJ. And I think people will really find a character that they relate to. There are so many.
There are so many. It's so true. Now, this is the production company. This is an American High film. And yes. I'm just curious. So were you aware that it was American High film? Because they have such a good track record of these amazing films, you know, like Plan B and Sex Appeal and everything. Was the whole team aware that, like, what you knew you were getting involved with American High film?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. So American High is the production company as much as it is a location. So they truly have a high school in upstate New York that they renovate to become whatever they need within that high school. So yeah, I remember walking in those doors and like, I'm back. I am back in high school.
It's so crazy. You do a great job with your character. A lot of self-reflection. Obviously, it's a coming-of-age film, so I feel like it's interesting. You're watching this film, which is like an hour and a half, and it feels like you're watching, because sometimes you don't know the time, like the time lapse in terms of, you know, are we seeing like a week's worth of this crush, right? Sometimes like you're the audience member, right? But there's a lot of self-reflection. Like I feel like at the end of the movie, a lot of characters like find themselves right away. I'm wondering if you kind of noticed that in the script, that there seems to be a lot of like resolution done when you're at the end of this film, without going into spoilers.
Yeah, I think that there is quite a bit of self-reflection because also throughout our film, we realize the difference between a crush and the first love.
Yep.
And crushes are oftentimes, I think, infatuation. And Tyler Alvarez, who plays Paige, our main character's best friend, says it really well in the beginning of our film of like, oh boy, here's your crush. Is she walking in slow motion? Oh, does it look like she has fireworks exploding behind her? You know what I mean? Like, and that's sweet and cute, but love means being vulnerable and having discussions that aren't easy, but are meant to bring you closer. So I do think that there are quite a few revelations and kind of resolutions at the end, but it's also really nice for these queer characters to fall in love and not have any residual trauma, and you know, it's really joyful.
It's difficult sometimes doing these interviews without going into big spoilers, but like I love like, the art component of this film. It's one of my favorites. Were you, when you were like auditioning and like you were, you know, reading the script, was the art component like right front and center, like when you were reading this? Like was it evident, or?
I mean, I'm sure that it was in there, but that's also VFX. Like that is really hats off to our VFX team, as well as our director, Sammi Cohen, for knowing that these art devices tell just as much of a story and bring to life love, you know, and that's like the color of it all and the vividness of a crush. Paige, our main character played by Rowan Blanchard, is an artist through and through. My character, AJ, exists purely on the track team, basically. She is very physical. She knows her place, but towards the end of the film, we realize AJ also has a really tender spot for art. And the reason that she hasn't put that out in the open is because she loves it so much that she can't be criticized on it. And I think that resonates with a lot of us artists who are like, please don't give me a note on this. Like, this is my baby. I don't want your note on my art. And it's relatable.
It's so funny. I mean, it's not really a spoiler. I'm going to have this interview out closer like to the 29th, but like my favorite line in the movie, my last line. And like, cause like there's no, I'm not going to say it with context, but my favorite line is I played track.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Artists.
I laughed. I burst out loud laughing at that. No, there's many moments. You mentioned Tyler and everything and Michelle, like they do such a funny job, such an amazing job. But that one like was a pretty like, great. I laughed out loud at that, which was awesome. There's a lot of moments in it. It's got a lot of heart. It's very hard to make a rom-com that's very funny but that maintains the heart throughout. So you all did a very good job there. You know this from certain projects that you worked on in the past. A lot of movies don't really with streaming services, don't really have a shelf life. It's going to drop on Hulu on the 29th. People are going to be able to watch it. They're going to be able to watch it with all the other American High movies and everything. Are you getting used to that you make some movies and maybe you made this movie like it's coming out in the 2020s, but like in years people can go back and watch it. Are you realizing that a lot of the projects you work on don't really have a shelf life?
Oh, what an interesting question. No, but thanks for making me super aware of it now.
Well, I feel like you will. You have to be aware of it with Moana. It's one of the biggest movies of all time. Like, come on.
No. It's really... Our film hasn't even come out yet, Crush. It comes out on the 29th, but truly the fan reactions and the comments that I've received on my socials have been so positive. Like the girls and the gays are going crazy and I'm so happy for them and happy for myself because I also am part of the queer community.
Yep.
And it's incredible, like you said about Moana, like the impact that it continues to have over these years. It's out of my hands at this point, and I love that it gets to live on for so long.
It's never going away. Like
I will always be Moana. I will always be AJ.
And like it's so like it's always because Disney always gets brought up. But that one, I mean, Encanto and Moana always get brought up all the time. So that's really cool. And Hulu, Disney Family, it's coming out on Hulu, so that's exciting too. Thank you so much for your time speaking with me about this film. I really had a blast chatting with you.
Same here. I hope to speak to you again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. April 29th on Hulu. And where can people follow you on social media to keep update with everything? Probably Instagram, right?
My Instagram is my name, but that's hard. So it's spelled AuliiCravalho.
Amazing.
Hey,
yeah, absolutely. This has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. You're going to be able to catch Auli'i Cravalho in Crush, April 29th on Hulu. Until next time, it's Auli'i and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.